Hey YouTube, welcome back to another video. Well again, it's been another month since my last update, so it's about time I did another one. End of, what are we, November, so what, it's going to be less than a month till Christmas. That's a bit scary. Anyway, so we'll start. First we'll start with some steelbooks, because everyone loves steelbooks. Got quite a few here actually. I went a bit steelbook crazy. I got some more on the way too, I think, which I'll probably show my next update. I think Zabby, we're doing a sale on Disney movies, I think. So I picked up Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I think is a rather nice looking steelbook, and I sort of think it's a pretty embossed sort of heading to it. I only got these like I think yesterday, I think, so I haven't had a chance to have a proper look at them yet. Then I picked up The Muppets, which I think is the new movie, which I think came out, was it last year or something? I haven't sort of seen this one yet, but that looked pretty cool, so I thought I'd better pick that up, and I'm pretty sure I'll give it a watch at some point. Now the next 6 steelbooks here, I didn't need to buy, but I don't know, I just I don't know, I couldn't resist. So I picked up all 6 movies in this franchise, which is, you know, pretty has a bit of a buzz at the moment because there's going to be a new movie coming out very soon. So I picked up the Star Wars complete set of steelbooks. So we've got The New Hope, A New Hope, I should say. Empire Strikes Back. These are actually pretty nice. Cool editions. I think I got these on special too, so that's another reason why I sort of picked them up from, I think, JB Hi-Fi here in Australia, which I'm having a few issues with at the moment. I've got a few rants about them recently, but I might save that for another video. I'll see about just doing a bit of a rant video at some point, but I don't know yet. We'll see how we go, if I find time for it. That's that one. Attack of the Clones. These look actually really nice. Yeah, let's look at that nice detail on them. They're actually, yeah, quite nice. And then finally, Revenge of the Sith. That's really nice as well, actually. Yeah, so they were, I don't know, they weren't too expensive, so I thought I might as well grab them. Even though I probably don't need the steelbook editions because I've got the, you know, the complete box set. You know. So I didn't need to rebuy them. But I did hear a rumour that they're actually thinking about, now that I think Disney do own the rights to Star Wars, I did sort of hear that they might be perhaps releasing the original theatrical versions on Blu-ray, which I reckon that's, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would sort of love that, but that's only a rumour though, from far as I know so far. So we'll sort of wait and see on that one. Fingers crossed, I suppose. This one here is actually another sort of, I guess, special edition, in a way, even though it's the sort of the standard MRA edition. It is very special though, because, I'll show you in a minute. The movie is Minions, which is a pretty, wasn't that great of a movie. But as you can see there, this has actually got my name on it, this one. So this is actually a special edition, just for me. And I think, JB Hi-Fi again, they were doing a sort of a special where you could sort of get your own name sort of put on the front, which I thought was, I couldn't sort of pass that up, so I decided to, you know, pre-order, so I sort of ended up sort of pre-ordering the movie, getting my name added to it. I hadn't sort of seen it before I sort of did the pre-order though, but I did sort of watch it the other day, and, you know, it was alright, it wasn't anything sort of amazing, but I didn't think it was necessarily terrible though, but I had sort of heard it wasn't, you know, got pretty, you know, not particularly great reviews, but I thought it was pretty decent though. It was, you know, sort of fun, sort of entertaining movie, and yeah, I'm really happy to get my name on it, so it's, you know, very special edition for me. Another film I think it's sort of mixed sort of reviews on. That's Maggie with Arnold Schwarzenegger and what's her name? Emily Breslin. Abigail Breslin. I knew that. Yeah, I think it does sort of get sort of mixed opinions on it. So they're probably a film I think probably you know, either really love or you not going to like that much. I think I've probably got the latter on that one. I thought it was alright. I could sort of give it props, I suppose, for being a bit different to your normal sort of zombie, type movie. It's kind of had a bit of a sort of different take on it, I suppose, and was more of a sort of a, I guess, sort of family orientated, type thing to it, where sort of Emma wasn't here. She sort of gets bitten and sort of contracts the the zombie virus, very much like a sort of a HIV type virus, I guess. That's sort of kind of the vibe I got. That's, I don't know, I guess it's a bit of a the vibe I was sort of getting from it, a bit of a sort of a metaphor or something for the HIV disease. So it's just sort of about the movie, just about basically these sort of two, the father and her daughter, his daughter I should say, sort of on a remote sort of farm, and she's sort of slowly, day by day, turning into a zombie sort of thing, and he's sort of trying to do his best to sort of protect her, and protect her from sort of the family and sort of her friends, and the police sort of wanted to sort of, come and sort of take her away, just sort of one of their sort of, clinics, which is where all the zombies do sort of end up, sort of being, I guess, well, they're supposed to be helped, I suppose, but not really being helped really, are they? They're sort of just going there to die, and I don't know, I guess getting tested on, I suppose. So he doesn't want to sort of, doesn't want her to go to this, hospital, whatever, or, whatever it is. So he's sort of doing his best to try and, protect her sort of thing. I just sort of found it perhaps a little bit sort of slow and a bit dull, to be honest. But I don't know, as I said before, I could probably give it props for being, trying something a little bit different, but I didn't think it was really that great, to be honest. It was alright, but it's just, a bit too slow, I thought, for me, and I don't know. Anyway, so that's that one. This one here is a, I'm not sure whether it was a sort of a, I don't know, flop or not, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure whether it's Divergence or Divergent, I don't know. Anyway, it's definitely a bit of a sort of a, I don't know, Hunger Games rip-off, I thought. Even though Hunger Games is probably a rip-off of, lots of other things, and there's just, I don't know, it wasn't really sort of all that original, I suppose. I had sort of seen this sort of stuff before. Sort of essentially about a society in the future sort of thing, and they're all sort of split up into sort of 4 or 5 different sort of groups, and as sort of teenagers they've got to sort of choose which group they want to go into, sort of thing, and sort of thing, and of course this girl here, what's her name? What's Shailene Woodley, which I think I talked about in my last video. She was in The Fault in Our Stars, which I thought was a pretty good movie. I did actually quite like that one. And she's, I don't know, I guess a bit of a sort of a Neo from the Matrix type character. She's sort of the one, and she's going to be the one that's going to be different to the rest. She's going to sort of be different to the rest of these sort of, the other people, and she's not going to be sort of, set into one of these groups. She's sort of a one that can sort of be all these different groups, sort of thing. And yeah, I don't know. It was alright. I think it did sort of start, and I thought, oh, this is going to be bloody terrible. But it did sort of get, not too bad, I think, overall. I don't actually mind sort of the Hunger Games movies. I think they're, quite fun watches. So I did sort of like this one to a certain extent, and it was pretty decent, really. I was actually, I thought it was going to be absolutely terrible, but it was pretty decent, though, I think, really. Not everyone's sort of cup of tea, I suppose, though, but I thought it was pretty decent. Okay, I finally got around to watching the movie of the year, I suppose, as some people might say. I don't know. That's Mad Max Fury Road, which everyone seems to be sort of raving on about, and I reckon it was really great. I don't know. I thought it was alright. I mean, it was definitely had some great sort of visuals to it and great sort of action, and I don't want to sort of say it was terrible or anything like that, but I think maybe it was just perhaps a little bit sort of too overhyped. I think I kind of went into it with sort of relatively sort of high expectations, and they weren't sort of quite met. I mean, I probably I guess maybe being a little bit hard on it maybe in certain respects. I mean, it was pretty decent, really, I suppose, but I just I sort of didn't really think there was going to be that much of a storyline to it, and you know, because it's obviously a Mad Max film, I suppose. You don't necessarily, you know, not sort of watching just, you know, see Shakespeare or anything like that. But I don't know. I just thought maybe there might have been a bit more sort of story to it, and I guess as if before, it's just a bit. People were sort of hyping it up, you know, quite a lot. So I was sort of expecting perhaps, you know, something a little bit more from it. But yeah, it was, you know, some pretty interesting sort of visuals to it. A couple of sort of silly moments in it, and a bit over the top in certain respects. But yeah, very fun, and it would have been, you know, I did sort of watch a little bit of the behind the scenes, and it was a very, you know, hard film to sort of shoot. A lot of the you know, actors and actresses were all, you know, cold and freezing, and, you know, we're out in the hot desert, you know, boiling hot, you know, so it was quite a you know, hard working conditions, in, you know, so I can sort of respect it for that, and, you know, a lot of the time and effort would have went into it. I can sort of appreciate that too, and it was, yeah, decent, but I just perhaps I was expecting a little bit more from it. That's all. So that's that one. Onto a film that a movie that I did sort of watch, I think, like just after it came out, and I'm pretty sure I hired out for the video shop, I think, when it was first released, and didn't sort of think that much of it. But I had sort of wanted to, I don't know, over the years, I had been sort of thinking about it, and, you know, I wanted to sort of give it another watch, and, you know, maybe it wasn't necessarily as bad as I remember it, you know, sort of thing. That's Jennifer's Body with Megan Fox, and it wasn't too bad. Another film I think that sort of gets sort of mixed reviews, and I think most people reckon it was, you know, pretty terrible. But I think there are some people on what is sort of reading IMDb that actually do quite a lot, this movie a lot, and reckon it's, you know, extremely underrated, and a bit of a sort of, you know, before its time. I'm pretty sure someone said that too on before its time, and a masterpiece. You know, I don't know, people, you know, say these things. I wouldn't quite go that far, maybe. But yeah, it was an interesting watch, I suppose, and sort of, I don't know, teen horror type movie, I guess. Yeah, it was alright. It was pretty, I don't know, I guess it was sort of fairly decent, I suppose. Megan Fox is, I guess, attractive to a certain point. I think she can sort of look, you know, quite nice in some scenes. In other scenes, she doesn't look all that great, and I'll just sort of say sometimes she's got some really bad skin sometimes, which I suppose is a bit of a odd comment to make. But especially if you watch, say, the first, you know, Transformers movie, she's got sort of tan skin, but it's all sort of blotchy, and she looks rather sick, I think. If you sort of watch that movie, and again here she sort of has a couple of things. She seems to have sort of bad skin. I don't know whether, I don't know. It's a weird statement to make, I suppose, but it is something I have sort of noticed before. She's got bad skin. Anyway, yeah, so that's that one. Onto a sort of a horror one. I think it was fairly cheap on eBay. I think someone was selling it cheap, so I decided to pick it up. Lucio Fulci's, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Zombie Flesh Eaters, which I think I gave a watch the other day, and yeah, well, it wasn't too bad. It was yeah, it's pretty. It has some nice sort of gore effects to it, and it's definitely sort of a, you know, a B grade, you know, type movie. But yeah, some good sort of visual effects to it, and not a bad storyline, I suppose. Didn't necessarily sort of go, you know, anything groundbreaking. But I think I quite enjoyed it. Probably the only criticism I had was probably that the zombies were moved very, very slow. Sort of the, you know, the people, you know, the young girl would sort of be, you know, see the zombie coming towards her and, you know, scream and shit, and then she'd sort of just stand there and wait while the zombie, you know, comes really slowly towards her. And then grabs, you know. That was a bit sort of, I don't know, I found that a little bit comical, I suppose, but yeah, it was a decent movie though, overall though. I did, you know, I did sort of quite like it, so that's that one. On to another movie flop of recent times. I've been watching quite a few movie flops recently. It's the Last Airbender. That's the starting with that one. The Last Airbender, which I think gets absolutely terrible reviews, and I'm pretty sure was a major flop. I think I watched half this and fell asleep. So halfway through, so that probably tells you how bad it was. I think I watched, yeah, probably half of it, and it was, I don't know, it was alright, I suppose, but I did sort of fall asleep. I think I was fairly tired at the time when I did sort of watch it, but I don't know. Perhaps, I don't know. I could probably rewatch it again, but it didn't sort of seem more that interesting from what I saw. Yeah, that's that one. Probably not too much to say about that one, I suppose. Next one is actually a film I was pretty sure came out in the 90s, but pretty sure it was 2008. It says on the back here. One of the films I'd sort of seen the cover for, and it did look sort of quite interesting, and I had no idea what it was about. It's called Son of Rainbow, which is an interesting title and very interesting sort of front cover. I think that's sort of one of the major reasons I was quite drawn to this movie. I sort of found this sort of cheap for $2 in a local second-hand shop. So it's just sort of about sort of these two boys here. This is actually their first film they did together too. Actually, very first. Well, both actors. This is their first major film that they ever did together, or just in general. Just sort of about these two boys and very sort of different sort of lives. This one he's the very sort of bad boy and gets in trouble and very naughty and swears a lot and everything. Well, this boy he's sort of from a Christian family, and this sort of from I can't remember what the name of sort of the faith is, but they're very sort of strict. Like you can't watch TV, or there's all these things you can't do. So it's very sort of his mother's very sort of well, I was not strict on him, I suppose, but she doesn't let him do anything. Like you can't watch TV or do anything. I don't know. I'd say normal, I suppose. And just about these two, and they sort of meet up and become friends, and decide to make a film together, sort of thing. And they're very sort of inspired by the Rambo movie, which is sort of where they got their inspiration from to sort of make their film. And just I don't know, just about two young boys and just having fun together. I guess it was I actually quite liked it. I thought it was quite sort of fun. I don't know what to say about it, I suppose, but it was pretty decent. I did quite enjoy it. Now we're on to sort of some old classic films. This one here is actually one that's I think's been recommended to me before. Pretty sure Dr. Hassline, Kevin, he was talking about this one quite a while ago, and actually one I actually did quite like a lot actually. It's The Uninvited, sort of black and white sort of horror type movie. It's essentially sort of about this sort of brother and sister, and they sort of find this this house, and they sort of decide to buy it, sort of thing. It's like this sort of house inside, sort of like a cliff face sort of thing. So it's sort of like it's been abandoned for a number of years, and they sort of find the owners and sort of decide to sort of buy the house and move in, and then they sort of just find out that sort of the place is sort of haunted with a sort of ghost and sort of strange things happening, sort of thing. And it's just sort of about, I guess, somewhat a bit of a mystery, I suppose, to sort of try and find out who this ghost is, and someone was sort of murdered in the house, type thing. But it was actually quite good though. I did quite enjoy the storyline to it, and a good sort of mystery, I suppose. I don't know. It was good. I actually quite liked it. So that's The Invited. Definitely one I would perhaps recommend. I actually quite like it. On to sort of a double feature here now. Now these are both Shirley Temple movies, sort of two movies that she sort of made when she was sort of an adult. It was sort of after sort of her child star type movies. She's not necessarily sort of starring in them though. She's more of a sort of a supporting sort of actress, I guess. So we've got I'll Be Seeing You and Since You Went Away. I'll Be Seeing You was actually one I did actually quite like a lot. Sort of a romance movie, but it wasn't necessarily a typical romance movie. You sort of watch, I suppose, most sort of Hollywood romances, and they're all about sort of perfect looking people with perfect jobs and very beautiful sort of thing. Whereas this one's sort of they're both sort of in some ways sort of damaged people, I guess, and sort of find each other and fall in love type thing. He's sort of just come back from the war, and he's a bit sort of sort of shell shocked and got that, I don't know, the post traumatic stress sort of syndrome where his hands are shaking all the time, and he's a bit of a wreck, I suppose. And she's also just sort of just sort of come out of prison too. I think she's on sort of prison leave, and well, she's she's trying to keep hidden from him, sort of thing. So they both sort of both sort of have their issues, and both for sort of damaged type people, I guess, and they just fall in love and have sort of a 10-day sort of whirlwind romance type thing. And but yeah, I thought it was actually quite nice, quite sort of sweet. So that was I did actually quite like that one. The other one, since she went away, goes for about 3 hours, but it was I didn't mind it. It wasn't necessarily quite as good, I thought, as the other one. Just sort of about this mother and her sort of her 2 daughters, and sort of during wartime, the husband's gone off to war, so she's sort of stuck behind to look after the house and trying to survive on her own type thing. So she sort of gets into a border to sort of help pay the rent, and just sort of I guess that's sort of the best. And just sort of just about her sort of struggling to sort of keep the family alive, type thing. But that was pretty decent too. They're both sort of decent movies. So that's that one. 2 more to go. A few sort of old black and white gangster type movies. This one here's got Edward G. Robinson, John Blondell. Oh, sorry, Joan Blondell, I should say. Not John. And it's also got, I think, Humphrey Bogart in it as well, I think. I just watched this one a few weeks ago, and I can't necessarily remember too much about it. It was alright. I didn't think it was anything overly amazing. I think it's just sort of about sort of the mob, and Edward G. Robinson, he's sort of a cop, and the mob, I think, some way sort of get him sacked from his police job, sort of thing, sort of with their sort of influence sort of thing, and so he sort of gets the sack, and he sort of decides to sort of team up with the mob, and because there's obviously a lot of money to be made, I guess, if you're in the mob. But I think sort of secretly he's sort of still working for the police, and sort of goes to just be a bit of a mole, and tries to sort of get some dirt on the mob, and it was alright, I thought, from memory. I can't necessarily remember everything that sort of happened in it, but it was alright, I thought. And the final one here, another sort of gangster type movie, I suppose. Again, it's got Edward G. Robinson in it, Humphrey Bogart, and this time it's got B. Davis. This is Kid Galahad, I should say. I actually quite like this one, actually. It was sort of a boxing type film. Edward G. Robinson here, sort of like a boxing promoter, and then you've got sort of this a bellboy. Actually, he sort of finds this bellboy is actually quite good at fighting, so they sort of name him Kid Galahad, and he sort of begins fighting for Edward G. Robinson. It's just sort of about him, getting matches, and actually sort of taking on the world champion sort of thing. It's actually quite good. I actually did quite like this one, actually. There was another film that Humphrey Bogart did as well, another sort of boxing movie called The Harder They Come, or The Harder They Fall, something like that, which is another great sort of boxing type movie too, actually. I thought I actually quite liked that, and just sort of about how sort of how horrible it was to be a boxer sort of back then. There was no real sort of support. It was pretty much the promoters here pretty much made all the money, and the boxers pretty much just ended up sort of being basically broken, completely damaged, sort of thing. Too many actually, I guess some ways being cripples, I guess, and just broke, because they just sort of, that's all they were good for, just good for fighting and making money for the promoters, type thing. But yeah, it was quite good. Brad Davis is pretty decent as well. Yeah, it was quite good, I thought. So perhaps one I would perhaps recommend if you're sort of into sort of older sort of black and white style movies. So that's that one. Okay, so that's sort of most of the stuff I sort of watched over this month. It's not necessarily everything I've sort of watched, but that's sort of the major stuff, I guess, stuff that I sort of want to talk about a little bit about, I guess. Yeah, so that's it. That's another month's video done. Thanks for watching. If you sort of see any of these films, certainly leave me a comment and tell me your thoughts. It's always great to sort of hear people's thoughts on things. That's it. So thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll see you all soon. Bye.